See, we're standing at the edge of the abyss in the Middle East. We are seeing riots all over. You mentioned earlier in the show the takeover of the embassy in Libya in 1979. Obviously, our diplomats were taken hostage in Iran in 1979. Our embassy in Islamabad, Pakistan, was attacked in 1979. A wave of events that really catapulted us into a new and very dangerous period in the region. We're right at that point again. And the issue for the United States is not who issued what statement at what time. The issue is, do we have an effective policy in place to protect American interests around the region? And the answer as of right now is no, we don't, because we've got an administration that doesn't understand what's happening in the Middle East, isn't prepared to take strong steps to advance American interest, and isn't protecting America's friends, not just Israel, but our Arab friends as well.
What is the proper response on behalf of the U.S. government? What should President Obama do?
The first thing he should say unequivocally and publicly to the governments of Libya and Egypt is that you failed miserably in your primary obligation to protect the diplomats and facilities of the United States. And he should say privately, if it happens again, we're cutting off all assistance. That message has to go across the Middle East. Second, he's got to demonstrate that we don't accept that American interests are going to be attacked on pretext that we do have a war on terrorism we need to fight against al-Qaeda in Libya, against terrorists like the outcroppings of the Muslim Brotherhood in Egypt and around the region. We're not hearing that from the administration because it's not their policy.
There's been a lot made about a Romney statement, a U.S. Embassy statement that came out of Cairo based on the timing, etc. And this, you can flip the news channels all over the place and you can find this. This is what we understand was released by the U.S. Embassy in Cairo in a statement that Governor Romney later reacted to. We condemn the continuing efforts by misguided individuals to hurt the religious feelings of Muslims. We firmly reject the actions by those who abuse the universal right of free speech to hurt the religious belief of others. In response to that, this is what Governor Romney issued. Quote, "It's disgraceful that the Obama administration's first response was not to condemn attacks on our diplomatic missions, but to sympathize with those who waged the attacks." Weigh in on that, Mr.
Look, he is absolutely right. That comment by the embassy, whoever it was in the embassy who issued it, is the sort of thing that Gene Kirkpatrick once called the blame America first syndrome. And it is a signal of weakness around the region that, faced with mobs in the street, faced with, I think, the potential culpability of the government of Egypt not to have adequate security forces around the perimeter of our embassy, that we're apologizing for some unknown person in some obscure film. That signal of weakness inspires our adversaries to threaten us more, and it tells Iran in particular that this administration can't deal with threats to American interests.
One more point in the 15 seconds I have left, and this is a big point. 12 years ago, October 12, 2000, the USS Cole was attacked in Yemen. That was 3 weeks before a national election, and we sit now some 50-plus days from another national election. It was largely misunderstood, that attack then, and it's seen in a much different light today. Do we properly understand what has happened now in the attack against Americans overseas?
I don't think the administration does. I think one of the reasons that our facilities and our people were vulnerable is they think they're in a much more benign environment. They are.
USActionNews.com has over 10,000 articles and videos covering all the important issues. Help make a difference in this critical election. Share these articles and videos with email, Twitter, Facebook, fax, and print. Edmund Burke said, "All that is necessary for the triumph of evil is that good men do nothing." What are you doing?